The full moon is coming, and chaos may be coming with it. Can our party figure out the right way to fix this? Find out next on the Adventurers Guild. On the continent of Volanta, in the city of Dakar, there is a place where heroes are forged. Where legends are built one story at a time. What you do with this opportunity is in your hands, and the hands of fate. The Adventurers Guild. Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Adventurers Guild. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Paul Cosca, and you're watching a weekly live-streamed D&D anthology show. Now, we're on episode 2 of the current mission, and in a minute, I'm going to catch up on everything that you need to know before we dive into the action. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and say hello to our players. Hello, players!
Hello!
Hello.
Howdy.
Your question this week, your mission includes using violence only as a last resort. At this moment in time, what do you think are the chances that you can get through this without using violence?
7%.
7.
Wow.
Strong.
That's
definitive.
just no
Like-
way, though. That's just me.
I was gonna say, like-
I'm not saying as a group.
Mhm.
I'm just saying
Like 15,
me.
15% maybe?
Oh, wow. That's not
Oh,
that
okay.
far.
Optimistic.
Coming in at a strong 3.
3.
kinda-
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh, okay. Fighting is happening. Justin doesn't even have to answer. I know.
To be fair,
I,
no. What, Justin?
wow.
What do you think?
I think that for once, I am the calm and cool, collected one of the party. Wow, that's crazy! Oh my gosh!
Hey,
wow.
freaking Vondel's being super chill. I don't know what you're talking about. All right.
Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we see how those predictions pan out. Let's go ahead and get into the recap while our players change over to their character names. Get some music going, and to recap. The party has come to the tiny village of Perrault at the behest of Mayor Gaspar, who is greatly concerned about the threat of violence coming from a group of armed individuals camped right outside the village. The unease hasn't been helped by their nightly patrols on horseback or the rowdiness and destruction of property they got into at the inn. The party asked around a bit to get a better sense of the situation before visiting this group. What they found was a camp full of lycanthrope hunters. Heavily armed and wearing deep physical and emotional scars, these hunters will stop at nothing to eliminate lycanthropes. Their leader, a woman named Rebecca, says they tracked a werewolf from several miles away where some livestock had been mutilated. She believes there is a werewolf living in this village, and since the full moon is coming in just a few days, she knows it can't hide from her forever. So, you have left the camp of, we can call them the Crimson Riders. You haven't been told that, but it's the name of the series, so there you go.
We figured it out. It's okay.
It'd be weird if you had, it'd be like, just made
We
that
assumed.
connection. Like, wow, really? But you just left their camp. You're coming back into Perrault. Now, when we last left you, your plan was to convene at one of your rooms at the inn.
That's right.
Is that still the plan?
Sure.
I think so.
Okay.
We'll get to drink on the way.
Oh, please. Yes.
So you make your way back to the Heart of the Forest Inn. It's about the same group as it was the last time you were in there not too long ago. It's really not been that long a time. And again, as you enter, people kind of quickly turn to look at you, and then when they see that, you're not draped head to toe in red, they go back to their drinks. Are you wanting to get a drink at the bar then?
Yeah.
Do we want to talk in the open?
Are we not gonna just take our drinks with us to our room, or is that not allowed?
I imagine if you
I'm
ask nicely, you
curious.
could probably do that, but you know.
Don't see why not. They think we're cool people.
As I'm getting my drink, I want to talk to the bartender and say, you mentioned when we were here earlier that there was a relative newcomer to the town the last year or so, but I don't think I caught a name. Would you be willing to share it?
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Six.
They say, well, I think Henrik came within a year and a half or so. I could be wrong about that. Frankly, I'm not the best when it's keeping up with everyone. But that's what I remember.
Of course. Oh, thank you for this. Do you mind if I take this upstairs? I know it is not so late, but I've had a bit of a long day already. And
Sure, I'm. You're staying here. That's not a problem. Do try to bring any dishware down in the morning if you can.
of course.
Does this bar sell bottles of alcohol, or just like is everything in kegs kind of situation?
I think it depends what you're looking for.
Like I want like a whole bottle of wine to myself.
A bottle of wine is not too hard to procure.
Nice.
I think for bar prices, I think 3 gold you could pick up a bottle of wine.
I do so.
Okay.
It's
It's
pop
not
the cork and chug and start drinking.
Got
Not
it.
chug it. We won't. Chug
you get it like okay from the bartender. They don't, they just when people drink to excess in the bar, then tables get broken. But okay.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not like these people that
Of course, no, I of course. Enjoy.
Oh, you sir, you need to loosen up a little. You'll seem a little uptight. So just some advice, take it easy, okay? Nothing's gonna happen.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, you make your way up to one of the rooms. It's pretty standard. Looks like it's been recently swept and dusted. So it's clean, simple. This room has 2 beds in it, 2 simple single beds. 1 chair and like a couple of nightstands with a wash basin.
I lie down on one of the beds.
Okay, great. Yeah, you close the door and you feel like you are in private enough quarters to where you can speak openly.
Is there a window, Paul?
There is a window.
Okay. I'm going to stand by the window, keep one eye on the window, see if there's anything coming through the town, if the view can.
Sure.
See it.
Yeah, you're like this room. Let's see where the window faces. I won't just arbitrarily be a dick about it. The window faces like the side, so you get a bit of the road. It is the side that is facing north, so kind of looking off towards the camp, though you can't see the camp from here. But you feel like, if suddenly they decided to run in on horseback, you'd see that.
Okay. So.
We were promised they would leave us to our work tonight, correct?
That is what they said they would do.
They seem to be people of their word. If only
Are
they
they?
had better words.
Yeah, okay. I understand where they're coming from. Wanting to I guess give vengeance on something that's wreaked havoc upon their lives. But at the end of the day, we made a promise to the mayor to protect this town. So, if the werewolf is a part of the town, sounds like we're protecting a werewolf, right?
I thought you would be harder to convince.
No, I made a promise. There's no need to convince me. I made a promise. We're going to protect the town, and the werewolf is a part of the town. We just have to figure out how.
His promises are pretty solid if he chooses to go by them, so yeah, it's probably a good call on his part.
I always choose to go by them.
About the little detail of the fact that they don't seem to think kindly of someone who would protect a werewolf or whatnot. You're gonna get in the middle of that? You want to go up against this whole group of the things we don't know their name? The Crimson Riders.
Well,
those riders in red clothes.
Those riders in red
You can know
clothes.
their name.
Can we
it's
call
fine.
them? Okay, thanks. Thank you. It's gonna be too hard not to call them that. I don't particularly want to get in the middle of all that, but if you want to, that's fine. I can stand aside.
I think it is relatively fair to assume that they will be here until they think that the werewolf is dead. I do not think they will be convinced that the werewolf can just go free. It appears that there's been too much connection for all of them in their pasts to the dark side of werewolves that it leads to,
Have the rest of you encountered werewolves before? Do we have truth to their statement? All I have heard is the rage of a zealot. I know animals. I do not know these creatures, but wolves hunt when they are hungry or when they are hurt. They do not kill for sport, as these people would imply.
I would say that it is very unlikely that any of you have encountered a werewolf before. They're, how common they are, a little tough to tell, but they don't tend to just be out and about.
From
So-
what I...
Go ahead.
All of us talking.
Yeah.
At the same
No way.
Didn't last session, when we were talking to Rebecca, didn't she say something about once the full moon comes and it turns, like it is not controlled, like it will attack for no reason? Is that what she said?
So,
Because like I get what Emiliana is saying, but I don't know if that's what they think,
I think the way you can interpret it, when it comes to the full moon, this person, from their belief, will have no choice but to turn into a werewolf. Like, to show that form. They won't be able to stay in their human form under the full moon.
But does that explicitly make them dangerous, or do they not know?
I think you could gather that from the perspective of the Crimson Riders. They believe that a werewolf is always dangerous.
Okay, cool.
But we also know that there has not been a death in this village in 5 years, and then it was from natural causes. And the latest person to moved here a year ago, and if it is true that this wolf is dangerous, there have been full moons since then.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
That is if you're
whoever
going to
this
believe
is.
everything that everyone in the village has told us. Someone could be
Yeah.
lying.
Due to the time frame that was given to us by the Crimson Riders, I would think they have tracked something here more recently than a year ago.
They said that there was an animal attack that they believed
Animal
to be.
mutilations, yes, several miles away. With that, they have somehow tracked the creature here, but with that being however recent it is to what they are searching for, a creature that has come here, we would have at least heard from the townspeople that it had been here recently, not it would have been a new person recently. But as far as they're concerned, they're only saying that we are the most recent people here in over a year. So,
Unless they know.
unless they know.
And they are tight-knit, as they say, and willing to accept the unusual background of their neighbor.
From what I have gained any kind of knowledge at all for werewolves is that it seems there is certainly a primal nature at their core being that comes out at the full moon. Is what it would be that the Crimson Riders have most likely experienced more often than not, and perhaps that is what they anticipate coming forward. But we do not know how this individual has been able to manage things when it is not a full moon, so who knows?
The only person who would be able to tell us that is the wolf.
Yes.
So the people that you've made contact with in the town, that, you know, it sounds like we're heading to a point where, like, you're going to need more information one way or another. The people that you've made contact with, the bartender Belia, who either hasn't given a lot of information, you know, has not seemed like the most bountiful font of information. And then you've spoken to Gaspar and Marianne, the mayor and the mayor's wife / owner of the inn.
And I think part of the reason we haven't talked to a whole lot of people is, if I remember correctly, there's really no other like general stores or anything, right? There's just this inn. So we'd be like knocking on people's doors, which would be kind of weird.
Are you a werewolf? Yeah.
We just need to talk to you. You don't know who we are, but...
Yeah, you've got
this piece of silver. Does it hurt? Cool.
Yeah, you've seen like 10 people here in the inn, in the bar. But no, there are no other public buildings, so yeah, unless you want to do, you know, a door-to-door campaign.
No,
like
I don't.
Elementary school kids selling cookies.
Yeah, then we're also just as bad as what we are being brought here to control. So,
right.
I think we should ask the mayor.
You mean we should be explicitly honest with the mayor and tell him that they're here for a werewolf? Yes, I agree with you, James.
Well, I think that they already know that there's a werewolf here. And it seems as though this town isn't being as honest as we want them to be. So if we just... Look, I learned last time it's better to be honest with people sometimes because I'm really bad at lying. So if we could just cut to the chase and lay all our cards on the table, we might have an easier time.
Sure.
I am on board with this plan.
I have, in my experience, learned that this can also be a horrible idea. But, you know, who knows? Let's see what happens.
Vondo, are you good at lying? Could you lie for us?
Oh, I am terrible at lying. I should not.
I don't mind doing the talking. I can certainly take the lead if you want.
No way. Are you a good liar? You've been nothing but truthful to me. I don't think that you could lie.
I know I do have that sort of look about me. I look so sweet and innocent. But I know my way around a white lie here and there.
Vonda will also turn to James and be like, that also could mean that Noe is exceptionally good at lying and you just haven't caught on to it.
No way. Have you lied to me?
Why would I do that?
Oh, she's good.
No way.
No way.
Oh,
so,
God.
Is the plan then to go speak to Gaspar and Marianne? Or at least
what
Gaspar.
time is it?
It's about like 4 in the afternoon. Yeah.
I'm gonna finish my bottle of wine first.
Oh, we should bring the alcohol to them.
Why? I'm not sharing.
Oh well, okay.
I would like to propose a plan. In experiences of being completely and no holds barred honest with people, sometimes that alienates you from them. So perhaps it may be of notable good decision that maybe half of us go and speak to them and be brutally honest, while the other two do not, and potentially can still be an ally in some form, if we say that we do not believe what the other half of us stated.
Do you think they'd fall for that?
I think it would be better than them instantly hitting all four of us, as this does not go well.
I don't understand this, why you think they're gonna hate us. We're not involved in this whole hunting the werewolf thing.
Oh,
we're just trying to do our
involved
job.
in it now. So for now,
I just want to get my
involved
gold
on-
from the Adventurers Guild. I don't really care which side wins.
So, real quick, poll. Who wants to protect this werewolf?
I will protect this werewolf.
Okay.
I
Fondle?
I would protect those that need protecting.
No way.
I don't care.
So it seems like it's the protectors have it. So if the werewolf is a part of this community, we are going to protect it. What if the werewolf is not a part of this community? Will we protect it the same?
I would speak with it. I would try to understand if it is an individual who has done monstrous things, then perhaps my opinion will change. But I will not judge this creature for the circumstances of its life.
Understood. So my suggestion is that we go to the mayor, the person who gave us this quest, and ask, is the werewolf a part of this community, so we can proceed further? Good plan?
Seems right. I think
it
you
is
and
clear
Nove
to
are.
me that the mayor is either ignorant or on the side of protection. So if we come to him telling him we will protect, well, likely to go our way.
Well, James and Noe, I think you are far better suited to a united front and charismatic attitude towards these individuals. Perhaps myself and Emiliana will stay back and see how it transposes on your side.
Got it.
I mean, I don't really understand why we can't all go together. Or is this because you want to try your not united front ruse? Is that what this is? Or
from my personal experience, I've ran into situations where it is better to potentially have a unknown side to the situation that does not necessarily alienate all four of us to them if they do not take kindly to what we say.
So is the plan for everyone to go and for you, Vondel, to just be quiet?
Oh no, I was thinking it was going to be that James and Noe would go and talk to the mayor while the two of us weren't there at all, in the case of if the mayor is super defensive about it, and then we need to come in as like a, what were they talking about? Oh, that seems ridiculous kind of side of it. If the mayor becomes hostile to the situation compared to the two who are stating, hey, you have a lycanthrope in your community and these guys want to kill it.
I would take much convincing to try to convince the mayor that I was against this werewolf. And I am not a particularly good liar.
Don't worry, neither am I. So we have stuff in common. So
it feels more like if that's a course that you want to pursue, Vondel, that it would probably just be you. Or even perhaps you and Noe. Like, it seems that you're, in picking Emiliana, you're picking someone who very much isn't, like, so keen on that.
yeah, I get what that's saying, because like if the people who are going now are pretty much just telling the truth, being like, hey, there's a lycanthrope, we want to protect it, and that doesn't require any bluffing, which is why maybe Noe and Vondel should be the ones who don't go, because if we need to bluff, I feel like I would be better at that.
all right, what could possibly go wrong?
I would...
Self-confidence, jeez. Believe in yourself a little more. You don't even have to lie.
Hey, I do believe in natural ones, though. I'm just saying.
Well, that can happen to anyone.
I'm going to throw this
So-
out there for the sake of not splitting the party immediately.
I was trying not to.
Is to have... My suggestion would be for everybody to go, and for not everybody to speak if that's what the course you want to pursue.
Sure.
Just
That
because...
seems like it'll be a beneficial way.
Yeah. If this is the next hour of the session, I don't want it to just be split like that for
Right.
for
Yeah.
no, for just that reason.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll.
All right. Noe, go ahead and make a Constitution save for me.
Can I take it with me if I'm not done?
If you'd
Please?
prefer. Yeah, you said you were finishing
Yeah.
it.
No, well, I changed my mind because I think it'd be kind of funny to just walk in with a bottle of alcohol. So
Sure.
can I do that?
You can sure, your game. All right. Is the intent then to go to the mayor?
Yes, sir.
Apparently
It's just a
so.
walk across the street.
All right.
Not very far.
It's
It
not.
takes an hour to get there.
It's not very far. You head downstairs. There are a couple more people down here now. You can smell dinner being cooked. You get the impression that that people might come down here for, kind of community dinner sometimes.
As we're passing through, can I just do like a vibe check on the people that are all in the bar?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and do a perception check and an insight check and see what you come up with.
Oh. Perception is 16. Insight is 9.
You definitely see that people notice you. You are not unnoticed as you go through the bar. You don't sense any hostility or anything weird, but conversation does die down a fair bit as people kind of steal glances your way and watch you go.
Okay.
You head out. It's getting to be like early evening. Gray skies turning a little darker. You head across the street and knock on the door. And Marianne opens the door. Oh, you're back. Go. She gives a quick glance, like down the street, just making sure there's no, armed mercenaries headed her way. And she says, "Come on in."
We have convinced them to let you rest this evening.
So you've spoken with them.
Yes, we have.
Gaspar, they are back. Gaspar comes in. I heard you had spoken with them. You have news?
We know their quest. We know why they are here. And we were wondering if you did.
Have you discovered some way to convince them to leave, to depart?
One way would be for them to obtain what they have come for. And I will say, with all my cards on the table, that I am not aligned with them in their goals.
It is, as we have said, it is of great importance that we figure out some way to make them go.
In the next 2 days?
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Vondel just wants to have, like, as the course of this conversation progresses, he just wants insight progressively through it, so I don't know if you want me to do that as we go.
Yeah, you can
or
do an
whatever,
insight
but
check at this point.
He's just observing the whole time, so
15.
because he's not speaking.
And would you roll, Vondel?
16.
Okay. Yeah, the both of you definitely. There is knowledge of that. It's not like some unknown thing. Gaspar looks over to Marianne, and they share like a very brief look, and then Gaspar looks back and he says, "We do not trust them. We believe they are extremely dangerous. Is this something you have seen for yourselves?"
We have seen how heavily weaponed they are. We have seen the fire of their passions, and we have heard that they mean harm to perhaps a member of your community, a member that you wish to protect.
We have no weaponry here. Some people have farming equipment, but we do not have strong means of defending ourselves in this way. Yes, no way.
You hear a little curse from behind you, because I'm probably standing in the back of the group, and Noe has accidentally spilled some wine on him, and he says, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I made a little mess. Do you have a washroom somewhere that I could clean up real quick?
Marianne says, yes, I'll show you. Come with me.
Okay.
She takes you. It's a simple house. One story, nothing crazy going on. Leads you through a small dining area, and a decently sized kitchen, and there's like a washroom just beyond that. And she just points that direction. She says, there you go. I'll be back in the living room."
Wonderful. I'll be just a moment. I have no intention of staying in the washroom. I'm definitely going to search this house. Thank you.
Sure.
Whenever, no rush.
Yeah. The rest of you see Marianne come back. Gaspar is pacing a little bit. He sighs and he says, "Is there no way that you can see that we can make them go?"
Oh, we can make them go. Look, Mayor, is there a werewolf in this community? Yes or no?
That is what they are here for.
They are here to get rid of the werewolf in this community. I think they are telling the truth and they're intent on that. What I need you to do is tell me the truth. Is there a werewolf in this community? And is it a member of this community?
Gaspar looks at Marianne. They like share a long look, and he says, "Is there any way that they will leave before finding their werewolf?"
Well, got
No.
two options for you. No. Well, Mayor, if this werewolf is a member of this community, I made you a promise earlier today that we will protect it. That is our goal. That is our intent. The ways we can protect that community are wide and diverse. No one has to die here tonight. Trust us.
Protection, irregardless, though, they have a very solid mission, core to their belief. They will be here until they are certain that the werewolf is dead.
You have no reason to know us, to trust us, but that man never breaks a promise, and I have reason to sympathize with one who is pursued by no fault of their own. If this wolf, or perhaps more than one, I do not know you, I do not know your lives, are important to you, then we will aid you. These people at your borders are zealots. They have hate in their heart that cannot be quelled. They believe themselves to be just, and there is no reasoning with someone like that.
I wouldn't say that. But...
They have reasons for why they are as they are, and it is a reason that is very hard to shake from what we can gather.
So what do you say, Mayor?
How would you propose to protect an individual like this?
Well, we gotta know who it is and if they're part of this community. You never answered my question, Mayor. Is the werewolf a member of this community?
Noe, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh, no.
I can do that. Oh, that's a 23. Yeah.
You find an extraordinarily normal house. You are able to look through the washroom, through the bedroom, the kitchen. That's all that's on this side of the house.
Outside, out back. Is there a backyard?
You'd have to like go back, you'd have to wander where everybody else is to find that.
Disappointing. No. Yeah, I'm not going to question you. I rolled a 23,
Yeah,
so you're giving it to me.
If there was going to be something to be found here, you would have found it.
I would have found it. It's okay.
It's this is just the person's house.
Okay.
Do you come back then to the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mayor, I will not lie to you, they are persistent. It is possible that we could help this person relocate, if that would be amenable. It would get the riders off of your doorstep, although from the way it is sounding, you would prefer to keep them in your community, correct?
It would, this relocation would not be a possibility. He looks to Marianne again, and you can tell without an insight check that Marianne does not like this look. And he turns back and he says, "My hope was that there would be some way for you to convince or drive off this group. But if that cannot be done, then I suppose they must have they must have what they are looking for." And Marianne immediately comes to him and she's like, "No, we hired them to fix this. This does not have to be on you." And he says, "I am the leader of this village. They look to me for protection." And she says back, and if you are dead, you cannot protect anyone.
Mayor, are you the werewolf?
Mayor,
Among
are you
us.
the leader of the werewolves?
Oh,
Marianne,
that's a good question.
Marianne like holds the clothing like his shoulder tight, and looking right at him, she says, "We are all people with lycanthropy, one way or another." And then she turns to you all and she says, "That is why this village was founded. It's why we are here together."
Well, all right, Mayor. Are you ready to fight for this town that you found together?
He turns and does it. It does not look ready to fight. He says, "We are here because we do not want violence, bloodshed. We wanted to bring ourselves away from all of that, and none of these people here are I feel like I have failed them in some way."
Mayor. Look, I understand wanting to protect something with your entire life, and the first step to protecting someone is to fight for them. Look, we have about how many days to the full moon? 2 days, right?
Yeah.
They may not be fighters now, but they need to be, because the monsters are at your doorstep. And if you sit here and do nothing, they will come and they will take the children, they will take all the people that you've sworn to protect. Look, I don't know if my companions agree with me, but these people are going to be coming back every day until we do something about it. So grab your pitchforks, grab your claws. I'm ready to fight for you.
Have you ever heard of
So-
another group like this? Oh, sorry, Bondo.
I respect entirely the reason for the founding of your village. And I can respect James's perspective, absolutely. However, your kind does have a reputation that has led to people like the Crimson Riders outside your doors wishing to hunt you down.
Marianne cuts in and she says, "All kinds have reputations. I appreciate that you are not well versed in our condition, but forgive me if I'm going to be a little sensitive about an outsider coming in and telling me about me."
No, of course not.
Gaspar says, "We know. Murderers with lycanthropy are murderers. The same. They would be murderers whether or not they had this condition. It is just easier for them with this."
They do not... Please, I apologize.
These people, many of them were born here. They have not gone out and had fights. They have not gone out and done any of this. They do not know. If we were to make them all I would not have them all be murderers. I would not have them all have blood on their conscience. They all know. We all know how people think of us. I would rather give my own life if it meant that all of these people did not have to live with knowing that they had spilled blood.
Mayor,
I also, James,
go
go.
ahead, Vondel. Okay. Go ahead, Vondel. I'll go after you.
Let's start with Vondel.
None of your people have been fighters before.
No.
I can say with complete certainty it will not be a pretty fight. If we choose to engage with those outside your doors, they are well armed and heavily prepared for such a circumstance. As hard as it is to consider the situation, they do only believe there is one lycanthrope in this village.
So I think the easiest thing is someone has to sacrifice themselves. Cut and dry.
Absolutely not. No way. Our job is to protect this community, and
James,
one person
we are not
is a
going
member
to
of this
kill an
community.
entire group of people and have a bunch of people who have never fought before die for a cause that they do not need to fight.
James,
Okay, here's the thing. But
You
I just
scoffed at me when I said they could not be changed. Do you think that we could change any mind? There are 12 there. Do you think that we could change one mind if we showed them something contradictory?
I think we could certainly have a conversation, but
No,
I am very certain that all of these people have very finite and sincere reasons as to why they think all lycanthropes must die.
And you must be careful about what we go back and talk to these people about. If you give them any information, any extra information, they will come storming into this town looking harder than they did before. If we
Oh
confirm
no, they will come
anything.
in trying to kill everybody if they think that this village is full of you.
and we are not good liars as well. So, Dustborn, I need you to look at me. I know for a fact that people who hold rage in their hearts cannot be easily swayed. That rage fuels them every single day until they accomplish their goals. And they will be back. If we leave, they will be back. If we give them one, they will ask for another.
No,
And
they
another.
only think there is one here. If they
And
come
if they take
and
this
take
one, they will walk to the next
they will
village
leave.
and kill another.
Marianne has finally let go of Gaspar. And she says, if they can't be convinced to go, then we need to go in there before the full moon and kill them. And Gaspar, almost leaves the room. He walks, over to the dining area.
Someone watch him. Someone watch Mayor.
He's just there at the dining table, not liking any of this.
Just doesn't like that plan.
And she says, my husband would sacrifice himself. He is a very good man. Maybe I'm less good. I have never thrown a punch at a person, but if they need to die in order to save all of these people, then that's the way it'll have to be.
They have
you ever-
children.
We
their
have children.
camp.
Yep. Marianne, here's the thing. I understand that you may think that you're a murderer, but trust us, we have hurt a lot of people to protect others. That does not make you a murderer. That makes you an adventurer.
I won't care what it means, honestly. We have 200 people in this village.
200? All affected by werewolf syndrome.
Oh, werewolf.
We all have lycanthropy, yes.
Yeah, lycanthropy.
Yes.
How many of those people can fight for their families, fight for their homes?
I don't know, but I'm sure I could ask. I have
Okay,
a few in mind.
how many Crimson Riders were there? Double check. I think there was about
There
2
were-
dozen.
There
12
were
dozen?
There were about a dozen.
12-ish.
Okay.
Marion, I have an uncomfortable question. Have you ever heard of another group like this? If we attack these, will their compatriots come in a fortnight and exact revenge?
I've never heard of them. As far as I know, no. I think if there were more, we probably would have been found out sooner.
Darn it. Where's Gaspar?
Gaspar is he's just across the room.
Gaspar, are you willing to fight for your people?
He doesn't say anything, but he nods.
If you truly love your wife, your people, your home, you will fight for them. So come and join this conversation.
We will fight. And if it will have to be those who have more control over it, who can change outside of the full moon.
Well, what if we waited till the full moon to give everyone a chance to fight?
If they know as well as we do when that's going to be. I think if we're going to come out of this as well as we can, then we need to do it when they are not expecting it.
Not when you're at your strongest. Forgive me for not knowing anything about lycanthropy.
She nods and takes a deep breath, and then you watch as she goes through a transformation. Her hands and limbs lengthen a little bit. The shape of her head changes, and over just 10-15 seconds, she becomes a dark gray wolf standing before you. And she says, "Control takes time."
Yes, if I am not mistaken of any knowledge that I do have, there is less control on the full moon.
When the full moon comes, we all turn.
And they only think there's one.
And she
How do you think they're going to react with
Goes
200
back.
of you guys?
There's not gonna be 200. Let's not get hopeful here.
You keep your mind when you are transformed.
I can. For those newly afflicted or just discovering it, it is different. It takes time to be able to control oneself. It takes more time to control it to the point where you can do it outside of the full moon. When someone is just starting out, it's very likely that they won't be able to control it at all. That's why we have those. And she points over, and you see that there is on the inside of the door like a large, what looks to be, just from across the room here, like a wooden bar that can be laid across the door to lock it from the inside.
So, are we all in agreement that we are going to fight?
I have
guild
one
members?
stipulation.
Shoot.
We're not killing the children of the Crimson Riders. I don't care. I don't care how you feel about it. I will slit anyone's throat who tries to harm those children. They didn't have a choice. They were rescued and brought into that life. They also should get the option to change their ways. They're children. We're not killing them.
Believe I am saying this, but I wish that we could give all of them the choice to leave.
Marianne says, I have no interest in... How many children do they have?
Well, it was like 2.
2 that we saw.
10 people?
10 people who are fully armed.
Armed units, but there were other people in the village. In their
Fully
camp.
armed and who know what they're doing, who have been doing this for a while. I'm not saying I'm not all in on this battle. I love a good fight, but I just want us to know that this is suicide.
These children, are their parents a part of this
No.
group?
No.
Their parents were killed by people afflicted by lycanthropy.
Well, I suppose it's a conversation for a different day, but certainly there would be room for children here if that's what it comes to.
All right. So, now that we're all in agreement,
I just want to make sure that you are aware, Marion and Gaspar, for your people, we will fight with you. I do not mean any discretions in any phrases that I have said that said I am not in support of your people at all. I am. And protecting you from those that would do you harm. But I want you to know that if we do engage with these individuals in full-out combat, you will lose many people before they lose many at all.
When
we
would,
don't know that.
When would they be most vulnerable, do you think?
Middle of the night when they're asleep? I don't know.
I do not know if they technically
they saw
normal
us
paths of days, but
then maybe in the day, broad daylight.
It seemed maybe we need to learn more.
We could observe them from afar for one other day. Remember, we only have 2 days, so...
And they will not be in your village tonight. I am curious, knowing what we know now. They have come to your village every night, and they search for a werewolf, and they have means to test individuals for lycanthropy. Have they tested none of you?
No.
Have they...
Are they good at their jobs?
We knew enough to keep our distance and to not look suspicious. I think their nightly patrols are just as much to intimidate us as they are to find what they're looking for.
A cheap trick. So, I think the first step is getting people on board. How about we go to the... Okay. Want to go back to the inn and let people know that we're on their side?
I'll take care... No. I'll take care of talking to people.
We should not be the one who talked to them about this.
No, they will be skittish, to say the least. We have lived with this our entire lives without telling anyone who does not live here. It's going to take some adjustment for them. So I will begin that process. I think we need to know when they are not waiting, when we can surprise them. And I don't feel that an upstanding fight is one that we will do well in.
No.
I think we'll probably need to be exactly what they think of us as.
Noe, do you have any traps or anything that you would like to use?
For what?
I don't know, the element of surprise. What is that thing you hit me with the other day?
We can talk battle details later. We're not even sure what we're doing yet.
If they sleep in the night, that would probably be the time.
If they sleep.
It turns my stomach to think of sneaking in and killing people while they sleep.
Amelia, I'll be honest with you, or not Amelia, Marianne, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if we can catch them in their sleep. It was a hard enough time though walking up there, and they saw us from a mile away.
Did you go up the road?
We were not trying to hide ourselves.
Yeah. The forests are thick, and frankly, when we are wolves, we are a lot quieter.
Fair enough. The only question is when we would like to launch this attack then.
Well, I think what we've decided is we need to observe them for one more day before we decide when that is.
If they do
Sounds
sleep,
good.
then I suppose tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Wish there was a way to show them their error. Show them that you are not what they think of you. I do not know if they could be convinced, but...
It is quite hard to convince someone that you are not like the creature that ripped their loved ones apart in front of them.
An uncomfortable silence settles over the room for a moment. Marianne says, well, I am heading over to take over for the evening at the inn. I suppose if there's anything else you need from me tonight, you'll know where to find me.
Would anyone like to do some recon with me? See if they actually sleep?
Are you stealthy, James?
Who said I was
good
going to be
at that?
stealthy?
Oh yeah, we want them to know we're spying on them. Right. I forgot that's how this works. Right.
Oh, who said I was spying? I was reconning. You guys use that word, right?
Not 100%
You
sure on the
obvious-
difference there.
I don't think that word means
Recon
what
and
you think it
spying
means.
are kind of one and the same.
Are you going to
Just a
walk up
different
to their
phrase.
camp after
You're-
we
no,
have
no, no,
just
no, no.
discussed that you
No,
are
no, no,
bad
no.
at lying?
He's
Okay,
not
so-
going to do that. I'm not going to let that
Don't
happen.
worry, Dustborn. I will walk at a safe distance and watch. Trust me, it always works.
Do you know much about military encampments and battle strategy? I am not convinced you know what a safe distance is.
I'm not
Well,
telling people what to do, but if anyone should be doing that, I think it would be me.
yeah. I did kill a dragon that looked like a goat once. And that was pretty strategic if you ask me. So
Out of
yes.
character, I think it was the other way around. The goat that
were you
looked like a
there? Were
dragon.
you there? No,
I said out of character! I said out of character! Shut up! Yes, I was there!
I think at
Get
this
me outta
point,
here.
Marianne is is heading over to the inn, and as you are back outside, unless you had any last questions for the mayor.
Wait. Can I please do something real quick?
Sure.
Oh wait, I don't know. Yeah, I probably have it with me. I go over to what's his name, Gaspar.
Yeah.
I look at him very solemnly, and I reach into my bag and I take out my jar of beets, and I take his hands and I put it in his hands and I just give him a little pat and then walk away.
Okay.
So I didn't need it, but
Yeah.
maybe he's hungry.
He now has a jar of beets
Good.
that he and Marianne probably already paid for. All right. So at this point, you are back out on the street. And it is unsurprisingly quite empty. Evening is coming in pretty hard at this point. You've probably got half an hour at most until it is fully dark. What is the plan?
The guild says I can't do spying. So don't do that look.
God.
Well, if we're gonna die, might as well have a drink.
No, you are confident in your ability to sneak up on this camp?
Oh, yes, quite so. But I mean, if someone else is equally feels equally confident, I don't have to go alone.
Just go ahead and have the meta discussion real quick. You can just talk numbers for a second.
No, we're not gonna do that.
I'm giving you permission
really?
to do that. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
really?
Vondel
Okay. Yeah. No.
Vondel
guys,
rolls
I
stealth
really
at disadvantage, so he should not be the one.
Yeah.
I'm a dexterity based fighter, so I have a +3 to stealth.
Nice.
Better
I have
than my at disadvantage stealth rolls.
I also have disadvantage. Crap.
Vondel has
I have
knowledge of like encampments and stuff like that, but he would not be suited to be stealthy in this instance. And he would prefer to probably observe the city because he's still curious as to what exactly they do on the full moon to make up for the fact that they can't control themselves.
I also have knowledge of military encampments and such.
I would say, Vondel, if that's a question that you had, it's one that you could ask Gaspar and Marianne.
Well, he was going to ask that, but then she kind of shut him down, so he felt like it was not a reasonable question to ask.
So as you are leaving, I don't know if this information will come up again, so you are welcome to have it. As you are leaving, you get a look at what she noted earlier, and that bar that goes across the door has a lock. It like fits into a lock, and in order to disengage it, you have to press down on a plate, and on that plate is a little silvered barb. So
like they can't get out because of the silver.
they can. It's just gonna hurt really bad. So
Wait a minute.
yeah, they basically like it's just enough
They
to like break
basically
the
put him on
skin.
house arrest while they're trying to get control of it. Okay.
Yeah, so basically during the full moon, everybody just throws the lock and hangs out inside.
Okay.
Yeah. Now
Interesting.
that we're looking for it, do we see any kind of like claw marks or gnaw marks on the siding of the inn or the mayor's house or anything like that?
You see some very, very old, like in no way fresh, like probably decades old.
Because they have control. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing recent at all.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like Emiliana and Noe are going to be heading to check out the camp, while James and Vondel survey the town and all that.
Sounds good.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, I think what we'll do is that we'll go ahead and pick up that action after the break.
I saw
So-
that coming.
Stay with us, and we'll see exactly what happens with all this business in just a few minutes. All right, we are back. We are back, and our players are different levels of, accepting to very upset about what has happened so far, which honestly is exactly what I'm going for. So I feel really good about it. That's fair. I told you, we already did the whimsy mission for the season.
For the year, yeah. For the year.
The year, it's gone.
Glad I got to be a part of that.
No more whimsy.
I got my fill
Ever
of
again.
whimsy.
We had our whimsy mission. Not going to do it anymore. James Rosehart is now sideways.
He is.
I'm sorry.
I mean, that's James. James is looking at the world from a different angle. So.
Okay, I'm ready.
What a metaphor. There we go.
Okay. As we pick up the action, we have Emiliana and Noe making your way towards the camp. I'm going to take a wild stab here and presume you're not just going by the road.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, the both of you go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
What was that sound? Now I'm nervous.
10.
The sound was oof.
Oh.
All right, 10 for Emiliana and Noe.
19.
19. Okay.
Okay, it's okay. We're just gonna get killed, it's fine.
You begin heading into the forest right off the road, skirting around a bit, trying to approach the camp from a different angle, so they won't be watching for you. Emiliana, the weight of this is definitely, you can feel it, and you're not feeling quite as stealthy as you usually do. It's not super loud, but there are little twigs that snap and a little more rustling than you're used to. Throws you off your game a little bit. As you approach, you do see the large bonfire that they keep lit. It's pretty early, it's just now full dark. At this point, both of you go ahead and make a perception check.
You did not.
Not one, baby.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Emiliana is thrown off.
Noe.
17.
Okay. I'm just gonna...
Hopefully I can save you from whatever that one is. I don't know.
This
I will-
dice is going over here.
It's gonna be something I just keep in mind for later, I think is what's gonna happen. As opposed to having a thing that happens right now.
I hate that.
Cool.
It's worse, though.
So Noe, you see that everyone's, from what you can tell, everyone's awake. It looks like they are still eating and perhaps still cooking dinner. Looks like they probably hunted something. They've got something roasting over the fire. And you see 10 adults, the 2 children. Even in this, obviously they're relaxed at camp. They're all still armed. All still armored. There is one person right now who looks to be acting as sentry, sitting on a log and looking out towards the road. You don't know if the watch will change later on, but right now it looks a little casual. Maybe that's just because everybody's awake.
I think My plan would be to sit around and
Mhm.
watch for a while. Like, we're not going to get any information just from one check, so I'm going to post up.
Okay. All right. Are you like posting up on the ground? Are you gonna try to climb a tree?
What do I feel like would be best?
I mean, you might get more. You know, if you're on the ground, you can't
Are
fall.
there like
you know.
bushes around?
Oh yeah, it's very
like
thick
to-
undergrowth. Like you
Oh,
know,
okay, good.
you're looking through
prob-
trees and things to look into the camp.
Probably stay on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then the two of you watch and wait as the camp continues their evening.
I know that I can't see much because of that nat one I just rolled.
Yeah.
But am I able to discern any kind of like military readiness among these people? Are they amateurs? Are they professionally trained? Are they overconfident? Are they putting on a show? Or are they
I would
the
say
genuine
that
article?
with your nat one, they are armed. Like they are in this state. You feel like they're going to be tough to surprise just because they don't have to reach for anything. They're wearing it. You know, they're not putting on armor. They're not. Where's my sword? Like they're ready to go right now.
Yep.
That's about as best as you can tell.
Reasonable.
So you two post up and wait a while. We'll go back to the bar. Was it my understanding that Vondel and James, you were headed back to the inn?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go in. There's now about a dozen people around. Looks like food has been served. And again, as soon as you open the door, a lot of nervous looks, but then they go back to their food. You see Marianne back behind the bar with the bartender. She gives you a look and a polite nod, trying not to focus too much on you. Then she goes back to speaking with the other bartender. What would the two of you like to do?
Vondel's getting a dark ale and sitting down with that.
I'm
Okay.
going to get the exact same thing that Vondel's getting.
All right. You two get a couple of dwarven stouts. And are you parking yourself at a table or at the bar?
I'm
table.
going to. Oh, I was going to say bar, but I'm going to follow Vondel.
Vondel's sitting at a table.
All right. Okay.
To be fair, the bar does face like the back wall, so there's not much of to be seen if you're just looking at the back wall. Okay, then you two find a table. There's not that many tables in here. There's one that's open. These long communal tables. You're probably 7 feet away from the nearest person, who just gives you a little nod as you sit.
I would like to do a check to see how many fighters are in this room right now. Someone that could like punch a punch, you know?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check.
+1, baby.
Strong +1.
14 +1.
Do you remember when you punched that guy in the face and knocked him out?
Yeah.
Nobody looks much stronger than that.
Well, shit. Okay. Vondel, do you think that we can get these people in fighting shape by tomorrow night?
No.
You don't have faith.
No.
What? Why not? Weren't you a beginner fighting person at one point in your life?
Absolutely. When I first started, I crewed on a ship, and I learned to fight. The first time we ever were boarded was the most horrifying memory of my life. I lost 12 of the people that I knew dearest from the travels that I had had already. I was left among several other crewmates, and all that that taught me was that I needed to never be in that situation again.
Interesting.
And so I learned to be able to always have the upper hand in any circumstance that I was ever in. I put myself into a high position as I moved forward through different ship crews and everything, and my number one mission was to, at all costs, avoid us from ever having to deal with the boarding of that state, because while there were me and the captain and a few other people who were certainly suited to the task, I knew that there were many people who were just like me when I first started and were not suited to the task at all.
Mm.
I can handle myself perfectly well, and I would be willing to fight those 12 people, no problem, but I have problems in the fact that I do not think that these people are going to be able to defend themselves in a way that will serve them well. Not to mention there is the potential side of this, that is, they succeed in killing these so-called zealots, and some of them find that that is now their cause, and that they must now go fight zealots that are out hunting lycanthropes.
I think that we should still give these people an opportunity to fight for the things that they love, or the home that they've created for themselves.
Absolutely.
I don't see another solution besides fighting for what they care about.
I mean, it could also be worth having just an open conversation with the Crimson Riders, not saying that this is an entire village of lycanthropes, but saying that, you know, this village is willing to die to protect this one person. Do you really want to sacrifice all those innocent people for a cause that you may deem unnecessary if they think that they need to defend this one person?
The thing is, Vondo, I know I can relate to how these people can think. It doesn't matter if they lose an arm or a leg. What matters to them most is completing their mission. And I don't think they're going to stop. And if we give them one, or if we give them another, or if we give them anything, they're going to come back again and again and keep hurting these people.
They believe that there is one here, and I am not saying that we should take Gaspar up on his offer to sacrifice himself. That is not what I am saying. They think there is one here. If they got one and moved on, they would go elsewhere, and perhaps track down a werewolf that has killed hundreds of innocent people. Who knows? These people, of course, live a happy life in this very quiet village, and they have not harmed a soul. And I can respect that, and I am willing to protect them for that reason. I do not think that the Crimson Riders will necessarily see it that way. And I do not know what the outcome of an all-out fight between the two of us is going to bring about for them. I think it's going to end poorly for these people. I think we're going to kill all of the Crimson Riders. And what will we have achieved? We've saved one village of good werewolves from being killed, but there is another possibility that the Crimson Riders could have stopped a pack of bloodthirsty werewolves that want to kill innocent people all over the place, and now we've prevented the Crimson Riders from ever doing that. It is a complicated and difficult situation to approach, and I am simply in the state of mind that I am willing to protect these people if it comes to that. I just hope maybe it does not. But if it does, so be it, and the four of us will deal with what that means for our souls down the line. I've lived a long life, full of a lot of suffering. What's another 100 years of suffering, really, for what may occur in the next 2 days?
Are you worried about your soul?
Well, sure.
What is dishonorable about what we are doing?
The Crimson Riders, all of them, have legitimate reasons for why they think lycanthropes are bad. They have all lost loved ones. We have seen 2 children in that village who lost their parents to lycanthropes. They have reasonable reasons to believe that lycanthropes are all bad. I, of course, respect the fact that everybody is their own person. As we have known, these people are lovely and kind and wonderful. But that does not mean that the Crimson Riders know that. They have only ever seen the darkness that is within the lycanthropic curse. And that is how they live their lives. And while they may kill good lycanthropes, which is terrible, they also kill many of the, as Gaspar said himself, murderers who are just murderers, and werewolf and lycanthropy makes it easier for them to be murderers. They've killed those people just as much as they've killed people like this village. And it is a unfortunate thing to observe and think about. But if we kill them all tomorrow, then there are an equal amount of just as bad werewolves that they will not be out there to hunt.
What if there was a group of people seeking out to kill your kind and didn't give you quarter? They didn't give you the benefit of the doubt. Would you be okay with that?
What do you mean?
If they went out and just killing your people, short people, right? They didn't like any short people. It doesn't matter who they are, what they've done in the world, how good they are. All short people, because one short person killed their mother. How would you feel?
I would want to convince them that I am not a bad short person. But I would not want to kill them before they killed me.
Is Mariana in the room? Can anyone hear our conversation? Oh my gosh, are we speaking out?
No, I'm assuming that you're speaking quietly enough to not be heard. Also, a good time to interject. Dwarves are like 5 feet tall.
Well, no, they're like 4 foot. They're like between 4 and 5.
Yeah, I mean they're not halflings or gnomes.
Yeah, they're not like 2 feet tall.
Because gnomes are like
they're between
3 feet tall. Halflings are like 3.5, 4 feet tall. Anyway.
Wow, I'm really glad to know I'm just a couple inches above dwarf height. Thanks, Paul.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Nico's right there with me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, if you want to take things personally, that's kind of on you. But sure.
You make me take things personally, okay? I can't help it.
I'm
stressed out right now.
I'm just here telling stories. That's all I'm doing. But yes, Marianne is behind the bar. Yeah, she's there.
I would like to inspire Marianne, if I can. I'm not a bard, but I want to say something inspirational.
Talented inspiration that
I like.
exist.
There are just a numerous ways that one can like give inspiration in these mechanics, and you just want to just be inspiring.
You know what? I have a little spell called heroism.
There you go.
It doesn't. I don't know if it has any RP ability, but you know what?
I mean,
let's take a look.
It's very in combat based, but yeah. It gives you advantage on wisdom checks and temporary hit points, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you know what?
Just in case.
Here's the thing. So obviously you can't like give inspiration points with this spell or anything like that. But the wording of the spell is such: a willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery.
That is accurate.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And then the rest is mechanical.
Yeah, the rest is mechanical, but that is something that I would say is perfectly reasonable to give someone some kind of just RP-based bravery kind of inspiration. Sure.
So I go up to the bar of Marianne, and I say, Marianne, the odds are against us, but we cannot wait The monsters are at your gate. We need to gather every able-bodied person and start preparing right now so we can protect our homes, our loved ones. Are you with me? Heroism.
Great. First of all, James, for that, I'm going to give you a D20 DM inspiration die.
Yeah!
For the most ham-fisted way to try to inspire anyone. If your gauntlets were ham sandwiches, it would not be any less.
I was thinking of the Rocky meme, where it's like with the two things, where it's like,
yeah.
You know?
She does not respond that way, I should say. And she says, I'm going to be talking with people throughout the night and during the day tomorrow when we have more information. I am with you. But I need to approach these people carefully.
Carefully. Damn it, that's not my strong suit, but I trust you.
I mean, she is now immune to being frightened and has a few temporary hit points for a minute. So that's cool.
Help her gather every able-bodied person. But in the interest of time, I'm done. Sorry.
Yeah, you get the impression that this part of the plan needs to be her and not you, because she's basically breaking to people gently that these strangers that just came into town now all know the really important secret that we're all keeping. And if you're standing there, that's going to make things more difficult.
Got it. Vondo, would you like to do some surveying of our potential battlefield in the town with me?
Sure.
Are you asking Vondel to go on a moonlit walk? I just want to double check. That's fine.
Vondel will get another beer that he's going to take with him. And as they're exiting the bar, he will turn to Jason and be like, have you ever been part of a battle like this?
Only once.
It's going to stay with you. And he'll step out first.
Okay. With that, let's move back to the camp. Some time passes. You sit and wait and watch the camp. They finish up their meal. They do something that perhaps is unexpected for you, perhaps it's not. But you hear singing coming from the camp.
Okay. Interesting.
One of them has a lute and plays softly, and he sings by himself at first. And then a couple people sing one, and then there is before they end, there's a moment where they all sing all together, except for the children.
No, it doesn't like it.
Is it a language that we recognize?
Yeah, it's in common, and it's just simple songs of bravery, like folk songs. But it's a lot of camaraderie. After that finale, you see them usher the children to bed, and the man sits near their tent for a little bit and plays very softly for a little while.
Are we close enough that I can mentally mark him, that I would be able to recognize him again?
Yeah. I think so. Both of you go ahead and make a perception check. And I'm going to say for the purposes of this, this is the most generous nat one. Emiliana, you'll be rolling this at disadvantage.
Wow, that's it.
That's super generous.
Wow,
That's very kind
so
of you.
nice. Wow.
Okay.
Just don't roll another nat one, okay?
I didn't. I got a strong 10.
Strong 10.
That's good.
Uh,
I got a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm distracted by how much I didn't like that weird singing moment, I think. I don't know.
Singing.
I'll
What
let
is
you
this
decide.
garbage? Get it
No,
out of my
music.
life.
It's just music. I don't
What are
like
these
it.
people? I don't accept this.
You don't know me. Be quiet.
So you are like sitting, watching. Your view of the camp is from the side, and you have just a little bit of view of the road as it kind of snakes its way back to the village. Emiliana, you notice movement near the road.
Coming into camp or coming towards us?
That would eventually wind its way into camp. That like it kind of loops around a bit and then into the camp. It looks like there's someone on the road. They are too far away for you to be able to identify much.
Kind of nudge in a way and tip my head to the...
Do I see them? Do I see this?
Yeah, just barely. It's dark, and I don't think either of you have dark vision.
Well, hold on. Let me just double check. Yeah, Nico would know. Do I? No, I don't. I don't think I do.
Yeah, I don't believe
Just
you.
make sure. But when Emiliana like nudges me and shows me, I just kind of shrug as in to say like, well, I'm not gonna do anything about it. I guess just watch.
This is coming into camp, as in had been outside of camp, as in potentially a breaking of the promise they made to us to not send out a search party.
If you'd like to continue watching this figure for a little bit, I'll let you roll another perception check.
I would like to continue watching this.
Who do you think it is? I'm confused.
I think that they sent out a party of riders to the town to search for the werewolf in contradiction of the terms we set with them.
But this is just one person.
That's what you can
Because
see.
supposedly. Okay. I'm not too worried about it.
It's an 11.
Oh, gee.
You don't really gather a lot more information except that this person got to this part in the road and has now stopped. And they are just looks like they're waiting or something. You can't really they're not moving either towards or away from the camp.
I have a bad feeling. I think we should approach.
Approach the person? This person?
They are not joining their compatriots, perhaps they are. I worry that they are a martyr.
If you want to do something about that, you can, but I'm going to stay where I am.
I'll be back in a moment. I would like to, if I can, if the dice will be nice to me, stealthily approach this figure.
Okay.
I'm going to keep an eye on her, though, and be ready to, I don't know. I got a gun. I don't know. Something.
To put her
Do
down.
something.
She makes a noise. Just
Just
I'm not gonna
shoot me in the
shoot
back.
her. Wow, jeez.
like an
I'm not
old
gonna do that.
racehorse. Just sorry.
Give me the benefit of the doubt for 1 second.
No.
So you begin making your way towards the figure in the road. With that, we will cut back to our moonlight revelry. James and Vondel, you head outside, and in fact, the moon is quite bright. It's a fairly chilly evening. There's just a little wisps of fog that are low on the ground. The roads, looking outside of the inn, the road in either direction looks quite clear. In the moonlight, you can see a couple of farmhouses far up on a hill. What would you like to do?
Bondo wants to gauge the defensibility of something like this main town area. Could they withstand a fight here, or would it be better to attack the camp, kind of thing? Like, what's this look like compared to what he gauged from the camp, and what's the better place to have this conflict?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I'm going to have you roll. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay. 21.
This is just like an open street and a handful of buildings. You don't see like any place to put up a choke point. You don't see any place to like funnel people, really, because they could just walk around it for the most part. This does not look defensible.
Got it.
Like there's, it would just be open combat here.
So, some kind of ambush on the camp seems like a better approach. Even though that's where all their weaponry is.
It feels like the element of surprise may be, if you're looking to fight him, the only element that you'll have.
Yeah.
As an advantage.
Yeah, so Vondel will be kind of observing that next to James and be like, they can't defend this village. We're going to have to attack by nightfall or daytime, whatever it is, when they're at their lowest guard. They do not seem like people who keep their guard down at any point. But we're going to have to attack their village. They can't survive defending it here.
What if there's 12 of them, right? What if we brought them all into a building and we brought the building down on them, or set the building on fire? Would that work?
Question of the day: does setting people on fire succeed in killing the people you have set on fire?
From what I gauged from them, I do not think there will be a circumstance where we get all 12 of them in a single room at the same time.
I mean,
I think
more the merrier.
I do not think they approach this as a group if they kill something. I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 maybe handle the situation, and the others are there for defense and backup. But I do not think 12 of them go into a room at the same time to fight something like this.
Right. So if we could take down 3, lock them in a room,
then
maybe just the children, and not burn that in that room, but
they would not send the children into a place where there was potentially a violent and ready to kill werewolf from their perspective.
Okay. My idea is We bring them all to the village. I know it's not defensible, but maybe we can catch them off guard, say the werewolf is in this building over there, and have some sort of element of surprise. Maybe come from the rafters and 200 werewolves attack them at once. I don't know.
You're assuming that they are well equipped for stealth tactics. I do not think they are.
So, what if we gave them a reason to drop their weapons?
I do not think there is a reason that they would drop their weapons.
What if they thought they were successful? We
I'm
go
certain
there.
They have far more layers of experience in killing werewolves than we could even dream of, and therefore have many things that they check for the circumstance for that situation. I do not think that this village is a place that this needs to happen. I think if this is going to work in any way, shape, or form with the least amount of death on the village's side, it's going to be a primal and bloody fight in the camp in an ambush format when most of them are asleep.
What if, when they're asleep, they saw us coming now? Do you think we could be that sneaky? Or at least help the werewolves be sneaky?
I think if we can get about maybe 20 of the people in this village to be ready to die in a fight, then them and us, we approach from the front of the village very abruptly and very noticeably because we can take a few hits, and then they ambush the village from behind, and while they are asleep in their beds, that's probably the most effective way that they're going to get some foothold on deaths on their part before they start killing all of these people.
I trust you, Vandal. So, we attack at two fronts. Us at the front, the werewolves at the back, where they least expect it. But I'm just worried about attacking them at their camp. You know, maybe we could lead them into the forest, maybe?
I'm going to put this on pause for a second.
Fair.
We'll make our way back to the camp, to this place where we have been discussing. Noe, go ahead and make a perception check. Emiliana, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Oh, those are backwards. Whoops. I should not be the one making the perception check.
Noe, what'd you roll?
I haven't rolled yet. Sorry, I'm rolling now. 12.
Okay. And
terrible.
Emiliana, what'd you roll for stealth? You are muted.
You're unmuted.
17.
17. Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
Proud. Wow.
All right.
Look at her go. Yes. Noe's like, yes. Okay.
Noe, you actually lose sight of Emiliana, who does a very good job hiding in the shadows and staying low, and you lose track after just a little bit.
He gives a little, and then, or they give a little meh, and then turn their attention back to the camp. And you need to keep an eye on that too.
Yeah. As you watch the camp, now that the children have gone to bed, some of the adults look to be tucking in as well, heading into tents. There are two people that look to be definitely on watch. One that's facing the road, one that is kind of doing rounds, looking out into the forest. Emiliana, you make your way quietly through the underbrush, approaching the road. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
15.
Okay. As you're about 20 feet away from the road, still in the underbrush. You get close enough to where you can start to see this figure in a little more detail. They are standing in the road, pacing a little bit, like looking uncomfortable. And as you get to about 20 feet away, you do see that it is Gaspar.
Yeah.
Mother effer.
It doesn't take much to discern the situation.
Yeah.
He looks very undecided. He just body language wise, he looks nervous and upset and hasn't moved much from that spot where you first saw him.
And I know that there is somebody keeping watch on the road. How far out of their sight are we? Have they noticed us?
If he goes like 60 more feet, he's going to be spotted.
Okay.
There's like a little bend in the road, and that'll be enough.
But I could break cover and remain hidden from it.
Yes.
I'm gonna step out of the shadows. Does your wife know you are out here?
Oh, it is you. She certainly does not. No.
I will not ask you what you are doing here. It is obvious enough. I understand, and I respect your willingness to lay down your life for those that you love. But this is not the way. This will help no one. This will only cause grief, and when they have taken you, they will walk a mile down the road, 100 miles, and they will hurt more people.
It is possible that I cannot save everyone. I cannot save all the people that this group may have already killed. I am not in charge of them. I am in charge of these people in this town. I am in charge of them. And I cannot stand by with the thought of those good people possibly laying down their lives in this. If I were to give myself, they would take me and they would go away. And this would be done.
How did they find you?
Not me. I have a feeling I know who it is that they found. As we said, most of us can control when it happens.
Yeah.
But for the young, for those who are just learning about it, it is much more difficult. We have in the village a young girl She's, I believe, just 13. And that is a common age for this to develop in those who are born with it. I believe that she ventured away from home.
Your community will always be at risk. There are those who mean you harm and ways for them to find you, and your people need you. They do not need you to die with zealots believing that you are what they have claimed you are. They need you to lead them. They need you to show them a better way forward. I am not one for strategy. It was never my strong suit, but I am one for fighting. You hired us to fight, and I respect your willingness to lay your life on the line, and I think you can bargain more from it. You do not need to throw it away so that your people may live another year, 5 years. You can show these people that you are not the monster they believe you to be, and those who will not listen, you have paid the gold price for protection. You do not need to pay the price of blood.
If we attack this camp, how many of us do you think will die?
More than one. But if you stand up in front of them and say, "It is me. I am kindly. I have been living with this for 50 years. I know exactly who I am. I have full control. I am not the monster that you think I am." 2 of them walk away. 1 of them walks away. And when the rest turn their arrows on you, you have paid for protection.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage.
19.
He looks up and the moonlight shines down on him. You can see that he's been crying. And he says, "I will go home. If any of my people are to die for this, I will be first." He turns and begins walking back down the road towards the village.
Then I will be second.
He nods.
And I turn and walk back to Noe.
You rejoin Noe. Go ahead and make a stealth check just to see how well you do that. And Noe, go ahead and make one more perception check just to see.
12.
12. What was that? No way. You're muted.
You're muted.
10.
10. Okay. You are watching the camp definitely wind down. A couple more stragglers go off to sleep. And suddenly Emiliana is there next to you.
I turn to her and give her a look.
There's a glint of firelight. There might be a tear on Emiliana's face.
Just
He
one.
gives you they give you a different look. That's kind of like, not gonna ask about that. How much longer do we feel like we have to watch? Noe's getting bored. Maybe Lauren's getting bored, but I'm done with this and I want to go back now. Can we do that, please?
I have learned what I think I need to learn. They are well armed and strong, and they are strong together, but they are no military. And that is enough for me.
All right. James Vondel, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Okie dokie. Perception check? You said? Okay. Hey! That's a 18 plus perception. 1.
Bondle got a natural 20, which is 29.
All right.
Ooh, we're so perceptive.
What a time for a nat 20.
Wow.
You see, the both of you see Noe and Emiliana like long before they arrive. You spot them coming like nobody's business. And it's relatively early in the night, so I think it's a little surprising to see them both back so soon.
Question, Paul. Yeah. Do we see them coming because of our position in the town?
My presumption was that you were kind of walking around, yes?
Okay. I just want to know if we had a good vantage point or something from where we are.
Fighting them in the town.
No, I think you were just kind of like poking around the town a little bit. You know, when you go to any small touristy town, you gotta check out the shops, look at the boardwalk, find the gift shop.
You mean all the things that don't exist in this town?
Yeah, none of those exist here.
All
No
those
public
things that aren't
buildings.
here.
I don't know where you're going. Yeah.
I did once go to a tiny ghost town that had donkeys all over the place, just to live there in the streets. They were very friendly. But yeah, what you gather on your walk is that this place, it doesn't have any alleyways. It doesn't have any strategic points. Just there is no good centralized place to make a stand here. Because if they don't like what they see on the main road, they could just as easily run off into the woods and flank you.
Ooh. Damn.
So waiting for them to come to you feels like a good way to get surrounded.
Fair enough.
That's what your evening has told you.
Okay. So all signs look to kill them in their sleep?
Yep.
All right, Vondel.
The honorable thing.
The most honorable for a clearly honorable situation.
And at this point, Emiliana and Noe meet back up with you.
Okay. I would like to relay the information that me and Vondel learned to Noe and Dustborn and see what they relay back to us.
How much do you share of what you've learned for the both of you?
I mean, all of it.
I tell them everything.
Okay. So everyone also knows about Gaspar's conversation as well as the information about the camp.
On the road.
He was going to sell himself out.
He was.
He's going to protect his people.
I convinced him that he could gain more value from what he was selling.
I hope that you are right. From what we can gauge, the best approach moving forward is to ambush these people in their sleep and kill them before they begin killing all of these people. Did you gauge that they do in fact sleep at night?
Yeah, they have 2 sentinels, though, one watching the road and the other one making rounds around the camp.
And I suggest that the most likely approach would be that we 4, who draw the most attention, attack from the front, while we bring the mixed bag of competent individuals to attack from the woods and kill those in their sleep before they begin to retaliate.
Let's go.
No.
Well,
This will be
let's
the plan.
No, we're
for
waiting till
the
tomorrow!
next Tuesday.
Tomorrow!
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
It's not gonna happen this session. You need to get that out of your head now.
What are you talking about? We have tons of time, guys.
If Gaspar is willing to transform in front of his enemy to show them that they are wrong, it would not allow us to attack in the night. They would know the one werewolf that stands in front of them, and the 4 of us honor bound to defend him.
What?
Eh,
I don't
If
follow.
there is no way to surprise them and give them the chance to change their mind.
No,
no,
absolutely not.
Do you think it's a possibility that we even could change our minds, Emiliana?
I have to believe so.
I would like to think that it is worth a try before
What?
we kill all 12 of them for no reason.
I have
I
to
don't wanna
believe
put-
that 3 of them would. It's. I don't know.
I think it is perhaps a reasonable approach then to present Gaspar with them, and we accompany him, and we plan ahead for the people of the village to attack at night from the forest. If they change their mind with Gaspar in front of them, then we will cease that plan. But if they kill Gaspar, despite what they say, then we fulfill the plan of attacking them while they sleep.
I'm scared that we are giving them an opportunity to kill Gaspar. Just being like, here's the werewolf.
Well, we can't just simply put him in front of them as a person and say, I'm a werewolf, and I'm not a bad person. They can test him and agree that, but they may not know it until he transforms. There is something notably effective about being controlled and in that form. Perhaps they do not know much of that. It's worth a noble hope anyway.
Rondo, I've trusted you this far, but if they strike him down, I will strike them down.
And we kill
too.
them. Then we kill them. If
All right.
If they are willing to see the other side of things, then that is worthwhile. But if they strike him down no matter the circumstance, then they clearly have lost sight of what they truly are about.
All right. I suggest we get a good night's sleep.
So going into the inn, won't go into the details of the plan, because that'll be a discussion for the next session, I'm guessing. But he will let Marion know, as she is gathering people this evening and tomorrow, that the camp does indeed rest at night, and so the most liable time to attack, if we choose to do so, would be while they are asleep, the next night.
Okay.
And he'll, of course, say that in some subtle form that is not apparent to all of the other lycanthropes in the bar who have not yet necessarily known about this situation.
She brings you close and she says, "Then we'll kill them before they even know what's happened."
We will be able to kill most of them before they know what has happened. And I am certain that those that are left will retaliate in kind. And we'll have to be prepared for that.
We will be. You head up to your rooms to get what is almost guaranteed to be a bit of a fitful night's sleep.
I sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But as
Fondle definitely does not.
I'm not stressed about this. I don't give a fuck.
Does not.
As Noe sleeps peacefully and everyone else tosses and turns, the moon looks especially bright through the windows. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh, we're ending early? Okay.
We're going to sleep. It's a pretty good stopping point, I think.
It's a good spot.
You were the one who was like, let's go to bed.
Okay, 'cause somebody metagamed. It was like, oh, we're not fighting this session, bro.
I mean, to be fair, you had 15 minutes left. It definitely wasn't happening. All right. Well, I feel like we've given everyone a lot to think about this week. So now you get to just ruminate in that for a week. Just let that flow through you. Enjoy that feeling. And thank you so much, players. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk to the folks at home. Well, I hope you have enjoyed it as much as our players did, if not more so, because you're not the ones making these decisions. If you like what you're seeing, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you really like what you're seeing, check out our Patreon page. It's in the description of this video, patreon.com/Adventurers Guild Show. There's behind-the-scenes stuff all the time, including an almost weekly podcast where we go in-depth and behind-the-scenes about all kinds of stuff that happens on these shows. So give it a quick look. $5 a month is all it takes to get all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to find out how this whole thing resolves, you'll have to tune in next week for the Adventurers Guild.